So in the previous video we were multiplying, so in this video we're dividing, which is factoring. Okay, so we've factored before, but now we're dealing with multiple polynomials. So you have to kind of look at some of the patterns here that give you a hint as to what needs to be done. So in this first one, we're going to see that there's three terms. So we're going to do our typical factoring method, but prior to doing that, we need to recognize that there's a greatest common factor of x. So the first thing that I need to do is factor out an x. And when I do that, it's a trinomial, and now I'm starting to split up the polynomial, so I'm writing it as a product of its factors. So right now I have something in standard form. Now I've gotten it down to two factors. Because it's cubic, I need to get it down to three separate factors. So I need to take this piece right here and factor it a step further. What two numbers multiply to 64, but also add to negative 16? Well, this guy is going to be x minus 8, and x minus 8. So now I've got 1, 2, 3 factors for a cubic. I've written it as a product of its factors. A shorthand way to write this, because x minus 8 is the same as x minus 8 quantity squared. Okay, the next one, slightly different. It's a polynomial. It's got more than three terms, 4 terms. It's still cubic, so I'm going to have 3 factors. But with this one, the way it's going to work is we're going to notice the pattern here of I have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. When you see the 4 terms, always look to see if you could factor by grouping. So that means we're going to split the middle. I didn't mean to cut that square off. We're going to split the middle. And I'm going to look for a greatest common factor on both sides. That doesn't look very good, so let's rewrite that. GCF. Okay, so on this side, I notice that the greatest common factor is x squared. So pull out an x squared, I'm left with x plus 6. I pull out a negative 5, I'm left with an x plus 6. Now the common factor in this is x plus 6. So I can pull that out, and I'm left with an x squared minus 5. Now, it doesn't look like it's 2 factors, but it technically is, because if I was to solve this, I would get 2 answers. So technically, that has 2 factors, and that's the product of the factors. Here, we're going to go ahead and factor this. Look at it, it's cubic. I should have 3 factors, and then I see what I have. There's 4 terms. Well, when I have 4 terms, I'm going to try and split it down the middle and pull out the greatest common factor on each side. Well, the greatest common factor on the right side is a 1. So I pull that 1 out because when I pull out the common x plus 1, what's left over is x squared plus 1. Okay, and so that's a couple quick 3 examples on factoring polynomials. It stems from all the stuff that we did with quadratics. So once again, if you're having difficulty with factoring, you can look at these videos. You can look back at chapter 5 videos, and those will help you with the factoring of polynomials. It's the same steps, but a lot of times what we're going to see now is you got to pull out a greatest common factor to start and then go with factoring quadratics.